Hello, thank you for your presentation. It was very informative and we quite enjoyed.
It was interesting to listen your point of view on this event that's going to happen really soon. And now we want to emphasize a few points that we really enjoyed about your presentation and something that we have to question.
So, these are the few things that we liked about your presentation, as well as that our presentation is missing.
So first of all, we really like that you presented and talked about through definitions because we didn't explain it in our presentation, but I think that it is really important, especially if you have to explain this to a person who is not that who doesn't have that knowledge of economics, and there are some terms that are essential in the event of transaction of the Russian gas. So we think that that was really useful.
Also, we very liked that you put some subtitles. This is the thing that we should have put because, for example, my accent is very strong and maybe you could not understand some things. But with the subtitles, we could understand everything. We could see more about what you're talking.
And now I want to emphasize one point about the actual presentation, about the actual information about this event. So your point that the demand for natural gas have been increasing as the economic growth in China increased. Um, that was really important to notice, especially from your side as Chinese citizens, because we didn't really know about this. But I think that's a very important point to make exactly in this presentation. And as you mentioned this in the diagram, the demand shifts to the right, and therefore the price increases, as you can see on the diagram. The same as quantity demanded, of course.
So now we wanna question some of your points. So, so this is one of them. Is that we disagree that you said that is the lack of competition because
Um, because we actually googled and we figured out that there are so many countries that produce gas and that are based on the economy of those countries are based on gas production, and we found this interesting diagram that represents the amount of gas that is supplied by those countries. So that's why we disagree with your point of lack of competition between um, countries, or I would say producers that sell natural resources as gas.
so from the perspective of Chinese citizens, do you think it's ethically correct to provide gas to China in terms of natural science?
We came up with this question during watching your presentation because, firstly, we didn't think of this while making our own presentation for the first time. And we think that from one side, it is not ethically correct because natural resources are really rare, and we're actually running out of gas eventually. So we think we would like to know your perspective about this situation and like your opinion.
So the last question that we have about your presentation is what do you think about the effects of increasing supply of gas on Chinese consumers?
Um, as you mentioned this on the diagram, that supplies increases, so however price goes down and quantity demanded increases, and we think that Chinese consumers will get better over this situation since the price decreases. However, there are always some disadvantages of everything in every single situation. So we think that there may be some confusion about this, and we would love to know what do you think, like what kind of disadvantages Chinese consumers may get. Thank you very much for your presentation again.
Yes, we are looking forward for answers on our questions. Thank you. It was Denis and Anna. Как это остановить? Бля, как остановить эту хуйню?